If you've logged on to Upwork these past couple of days, you've seen the new banner at the top saying that effective September 10th, our terms of service are changing. Please take a moment to review the new user agreement. Now, first time I saw that, I was like, I want to do a video about it. But then I saw the huge legal papers and I was like, boring. So I gave up that idea until one of you messaged me on Instagram asking if I could do this. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it another try. And I went the lazy route, as one does. And I asked ChatGPT to analyze them, but still, it sounded too legally. And so I went one step ahead and said, can you explain that as if I were five? Like, dumb it down a lot. And so that's what I'm gonna present to you today because that's one, more fun, much easier to comprehend. I love the way it explained this. Imagine Upwork is a big playground. They've made a few new rules to keep everyone safe and playing fair. For the user agreement, the big rule book, when there's a big fight, if lots of people have the same problem with Upwork at the same time, they'll pick a few people to go first and try to solve the problem. Essentially, they're changing the way dispute works. I'm going back to the legal big people terms, and that's right here under section 14. By the way, I'll link both documents down below so you can have a look in your own time. If you and a client meet on the Upwork playground, you can't just go and play somewhere else without paying a fee. That's about the non-circumvention, which essentially is if you and or the client wants to take the thing outside of the relationship, the contract, you can do that after 2 years, or if you want to do that before the 2 years are up, you can pay a fee to Upwork to be able to break that contract, if you will. I know we talk a lot about you can't take things outside Upwork, but you actually can. You just need to pay them, and then they say, for the terms of use, the rules of playing nice, fake stuff is not allowed. You can't use fake pictures or videos of people or fake news to trick others on the playground, aka you cannot falsify your work history or a fake portfolio, that kind of stuff, which pretty obvious, but I guess it wasn't obvious before in their document. Smart robots can help with jobs. If your client says no, basically you want to be transparent with the client if you're using AI and give them the opportunity to say no. Also, they say no shopping for others. You can't offer to buy things for other people, like special online money or online pictures, aka crypto and NFTs. I find that so funny the way they said that. That's basically section 3, what you're not allowed to do on Upwork. This is the part I want you to pay a little bit more attention to because I'm thinking this will be more relevant to most people. If you haven't read the terms of service, which let's be honest, nobody fully does, just pay a little bit more attention right now. Certain uses of the site are not allowed. Posting unacceptable content, acting in a misleading or fraudulent way, treating others unfairly, abusing our feedback system are not allowed. You cannot post illegal or defamatory stuff, violent, discriminating, harassment, anything, sexually explicit stuff, things related to child exploitation, copyright, stuff requesting a fake review or making or sharing misleading content, deepfakes, fake news, that kind of thing. And then they say acting in a misleading or fraudulent way, lying about your experience, skills, or professional qualifications. You cannot copy someone else's profile, using a profile picture that isn't you. You cannot have someone else use your account. And then down here they say you cannot falsify the hours, keystrokes, or clicks in the Upwork app, and you cannot demand bribes or other payments without the intention of actually doing it. On the other hand, clients cannot post jobs with payment terms that are unreasonable or disproportionate to the scope of services. They cannot be hiring themselves as freelancers and pay themselves. I know some people have thought about this. Oh, what if I just create a client account and hire myself? Don't do that. You're getting yourself into trouble. That's unnecessary. And then you cannot treat others unfairly, incite violence, discriminate, share personal information. The client cannot request a fee in order to submit a proposal. Careful about those scams. You can also not abuse the feedback system. Clients cannot withhold payment, or you cannot withhold work until you've been given positive feedback. You cannot swap payment for feedback. You cannot coerce another user by threatening negative feedback. I've seen this happen with some clients, so just be careful about that. If that ends up happening, make sure you report it because that's not okay. And That's pretty much it. It wasn't that big of a deal, but it's important that we refresh our memory of these things, especially if you didn't read the whole thing when you first sign up. Links to these documents down below. Let me know any questions you have in the comments, and I'll see you on Friday because I have a live scheduled. So show up, bring your Upwork profile so I can review it on the live, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.